Self-discovery through a camera? I am scared to look for fear of discovering how shallow my self is.
The voyage of discovery lies not in finding new landscapes, but in finding new eyes.
Hey, welcome to the Street Shots Photography Podcast. This is Antonio.
And this is Ward.
And this is episode 233 for the end of June and also for the country code of Ghana. 233, Ghana.
I don't know if I know any Ghana folks. Guyanese? Ghana?
I might have met some people from Ghana. Yeah. No, I think I know people from Ghana or met some people from Ghana some time ago. Oh, and by the way, we're going to be joined by my other co-host, Opie. He's going to join us.
Yeah, he's digging into your beard there.
Yeah, he is. And if I sound a little different, it's because I could not find my podcast mic. So I'm using my old one. So, which is kind of fun because it's an old kind of style microphone. But so if I sound a little different, if you hear a little bit more background noise until I unpack everything, yeah, we're gonna be using this. So anyway, hey, guess where I am?
I have 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count.
First 2 don't count. Yeah,
somewhere in the center of United States of America.
Pretty much, almost dead center. I think we're about as close to dead center as I've ever been. I don't think I've ever been anywhere in this place. Nebraska. I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska. Lincoln, Nebraska, the capital of Nebraska.
So are you in now I don't know how big Lincoln is. Are you in Nebraska proper, or are you in the greater Lincoln area?
I'm in Lincoln area. I am part of Lincoln. In fact, if I take a couple of steps out the door and down the street from where I'm staying. I've just got to get used to this.
You are committed.
I know, I'm committed. I can see the Capitol building, so I might be able to even walk to it, but maybe not in the weather we've been having lately. I'm not walking in this nonsense.
Yeah. So you came in time for the heat dome, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I think the heat dome moved east as we were driving west.
Okay.
So it's hotter in New York than it is here. Okay. So it's much hotter in New York than it is here. Apparently we in Nebraska get a lot of humidity from the corn, I've been told.
Okay.
But it hasn't quite hit yet. But it's been quite a struggle, but yeah. Yeah. So since our last chat, I've packed up my entire life in Brooklyn, except I still have my apartment there. I still own it. Mm-hmm. And stuffed it all into a big, giant pink truck. I'm serious. If anybody is listening to this and you need movers, I'm going to highly suggest you look into Piece of Cake Movers. I mean, they're New York based, but they do go countrywide. And they were a little pricier than other movers that I checked into, but these guys were the best. I had no doubts about my stuff getting there and being taken care of and nothing. They were like moving therapy, I would say. Because you know how stressful moving is. And I've been stressed beyond, I don't think I've been this stressed in a really long time. Mm. And it really came to a head. Today is, what are we today? Today's Wednesday. So it was a week ago today. It was we're recording this on the 25th, but it was on the 18th that the movers came. Mm. And Angie and her daughter Katie and her son TJ and his fiance Emily all traveled from Lincoln, Nebraska and Iowa City to here. They flew here a few days ahead of time, and they had a bunch of touristy things that they did.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I was going to be my next question was they got to see some of the sites.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And even Angie did some engagement photos of TJ and Emily in Central Park. So,
Oh, cool.
and I think I'll be helping processing those in Lightroom. So,
Okay.
yeah, and yeah, Angie's a photographer too. She actually had a photography business, which is really kind of cool. When she was
Well, we
in,
might have to have her on the show then. We
live
can,
on the show, yeah, in Denver. She was when she was in living in Denver. She had a photography business. So yeah. Anyway, they did get to do, or at least the kids got to do a lot of touristy things, and Angie and I packed and packed and packed and finished up, and then started stuffing things into boxes. And luckily for me, I didn't bring a lot of furniture, so I've got an apartment with some furniture in it, and my plan is to rent my place so that I can keep it in. Right now is maybe not the best time to sell. My plan is to sell it, but right now I want to be able to just sort of pay for the mortgage and the maintenance for a little while. I think it's just too early to sell because I think some work has to be done in the apartment. But it was very strange being in an empty apartment.
yeah.
And the acoustics, by the way, are
Yeah.
very different when there's nothing in the apartment. So yeah, to sum it up, I think it could not have gone better. Very few glitches, and you know how like moving. I mean, I don't do that much moving, but you can imagine moving across country with two cats and 5 people and 2 cars and a house worth of stuff in a giant pink truck. I'll put a picture of that. Our our picture for the MP3. But like, and driving cross country, which I've never done before. It's not quite all the way across country, but it's halfway across country.
Well, it's a couple of
And
days drive, right?
yeah, yeah. And I was surprising. I mean, the cars these days. I mean, I have a 2020 Nissan, and it's good. And the kids were driving that, and we rented a Pacifica, a Chrysler Pacifica. I think it's a 2024, and I'm amazed at how much stuff the car does for you. I mean, anyway, I know this is not a car show; it's a camera show, or a photography show, but like it actually keeps you in lane. I was like, what is it doing? I kept thinking the car kept drifting to the right, and I was like,
Driving
what's it
over some
doing?
cat's eyes or something. What is this? Yeah.
I know. I was like, and I'm like, it's fighting me, and I'm like, what's going on? And I realized, oh, it's got this thing where it keeps you sort of centered in the lines. So I was really kind of excited by that. It was a lot of fun, and the learning here is, in New York, when you go upstate or any place nearby, the roads are left, right, straight, left, right, left, straight.
Yeah.
Here, like coming out here, it was straight.
Yeah.
It was like directly. Anyway, so
That's my background, Saskatchewan and Alberta. Lots of straight roads. You can see down across the valley and up, and then
yeah,
that highway that's still straight, that is 20 miles away, and I can still
yeah.
see it.
It is definitely a different kind of driving. I would say less challenging. I mean, I like driving in New York, but yeah. Anyway, so I've been slowly unpacking. I mean, I got a lot to do, but setting stuff up. It's nice to sort of start fresh, in a way, rather than trying to change everything that existed already that's sitting in boxes or shelves or something like that in my house. And like here, like I've got a nice new clean office that I can make my own. And so it was really great that Angie's giving me a room for my office, so I have to utilize this in the right way. So I'm very, very honored. But yeah, yeah, I would say all's good. Can't wait to get my cameras going.
Good. Do some
Yeah,
walking when the weather settles down.
yeah. It's very walkable around here, and I have walked already. And I did to bring my camera with me. I actually did get. I had a camera here waiting for me, if I may.
Hmm.
It
Wow.
is. I ended up ordering the little Fuji X half camera.
Oh, there it
This little
is.
thing. Yeah.
Oh.
And just to put it next to the X100, I don't know if you can see the difference,
Oh, yeah.
but it
It's
literally is like half the size
yeah.
of the cameras. Were we talking about this in the last episode that I put an
Not
order
about
in
this,
for
not
this?
the size differential, but
Oh,
I was a little dismissive of the half frame, and you said
yeah.
you just ordered one. I'm like, okay.
Well, I don't have a review, and I'm not gonna really review it, but, first of all, it's a fun little camera, and I can guarantee you it feels like you bought it from like a 99-cent store. Like,
Oh, okay.
it feels like a little toy, which is which could be a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, I literally can stuff it in my pocket
But it's
of
not
my
a
shorts.
Holga, right? It's got some, there's some jam there. It's not like,
Yeah, yeah, it's, and actually the picture quality, I would say, is really good. I'm not sure how much better it is than my phone in some way, but I haven't tried the little gimmicky thing now where you can set it up to shoot 36 exposures and you can't review it and stuff like that. I haven't done that yet, but I do like it. I do enjoy it. I think its picture quality is decent. I like the black and whites that it produces, and it's got this little teeny tiny lens. It's like adorable. It's a little,
I know
it's like
you
the
had, oh,
go
was it,
ahead.
is it in the film mode where you were saying you kind of hoped it did a little contact sheet kind of thing that you could print?
Yes. Yeah, you have to use the included or not included. You have to download an app on your phone to do that. And I haven't done that yet because you have to do it in conjunction with the film. You can't just set it up. And what I'm really curious about is whether or not I can print out that contact sheet because that would be kind of fun to print out contact sheets again or whatever, So just for it's all kind of fake stuff, but I just think I think it was clever. I can't say it's for everybody. I would say you need to be like a real Fuji holic, I think, to appreciate it. It's a nice looking little camera.
Hmm.
I give them high marks for that. It definitely looks like they took like a X Pro or something like that and put it in the washer and then the dryer and it shrank a little bit or something like that. So yeah, and the little optical viewfinder is kind of cute too. So I don't know. It's a nice little gimmicky camera. Eh, I, I don't mind it.
Cool.
No, it's okay. It's not. It doesn't blow me away though. It's not like oh so good, but it was kind of fun having it waiting here because I'd
Yeah.
ordered it and I didn't realize that they had shipped. They were back ordered or something like that. So when I got the B&H, sorry, FedEx brought the B&H package, and we were still, I think we were on the road or something like that, and we have a little Ring camera on the door now. So
Oh, right.
Angie was talking to the FedEx guy and saying, "Can you just leave it in the?" I was like,
Yeah.
"That's my camera. You're gonna leave it on the doorstep." But yeah, it was kind of fun to have that here. So yeah,
Cool.
but yeah, just now trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. Like, I've got some time to I got a cat on my shoulder right now who's yeah, he's gonna talk, right, buddy? Yeah, he's sorry. Sorry, everybody. We got cats. We're cat people now. So, but yeah, well, my computers are not set up yet, and I have to take apart my desk again because they didn't put it together correctly. But not a big deal.
Yeah.
But the movers were so cool. By the way, we helped them unpack, and they came to us afterwards, and they said, like, they texted us and said, "You guys were the best, like, clients we've had, and thank you for helping us." I was like, "No, this is what we do." And then the foreman actually sent us gifts as a thank
Wow.
you and sent us a really nice scented candle, and also the 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 guy who was the foreman had been to Lincoln before.
Oh,
And
okay.
he pulled out his phone at some point and showed me photos that he took of the bison, which was in the exact same place that I took pictures of the bison on my trip here. Like, we were
Okay.
both in the same place. But he chose this book. I wanted to share this. He sent me a book by photographer Joel
Sartori. All that.
Sartori,
Yeah.
Nebraska Under a Big Red Sky.
Nice.
And you've heard of him before, yes?
I have. He does that. He has this running project of documenting animals. He puts them or he puts them in front of a black or a white background and he shoots them with flash. And he's creating this whole zoography, or I don't know what the word is, of this catalog of animals from around the world.
Isn't he? Doesn't he? Is he doing that for National Geo? Nat Geo?
I could be in coordination with them. It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I'm reading in the back here. He says a contributing photographer for Nat Geo magazine since '91. Nebraskan Joel Sartori. Sorry if I'm spelling it. Say it's not. Joel Sartori's articles have covered endangered species, America's wildlife refuges, U.S. federal lands, and features on several states. His work has also appeared in Audubon, Life, Newsweek, Sports Illustrated, and Time. He's a co-founder of Conservation Alliance of the Great Plains and the co-author of The Company We Keep, America's Endangered Species. So I've got somebody who I can seek out to get on our show
Hey,
if we
I'm all
can.
over it. Absolutely.
Yeah. So this book is sort of covers little vignettes, little bits and pieces of different parts of Nebraska. It's got it's got some of the rodeo stuff and some demolition derby stuff and football and people mud wrestling. There's a great portrait of kind of there's some really good stuff in here. So it was really interesting to like I thought he was sending me a book. I when I saw the notice that the mover was sending me this book, I thought it was just sort of like a welcome to Nebraska
Yeah,
book.
like a
I didn't look at it.
welcome wagon thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't look at it closely, but he picked out this book of this photographer. So it's my first new photo book in 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 this house. Yeah.
Local interest. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. So I'm very excited to go through this in more depth. And the pictures are really nice. I mean, I've joined a couple of Nebraskan photography groups just to scope out and see what other people are doing here. And it does seem like it really feels like there's a lot of photographic opportunity out here as well. Yeah. So,
Nice.
yeah. I won't be grabbing shots of, Hasidic men on the street and Coney Island and stuff like that, but the prospects here look really like appeal to me, I should say. So,
Cool.
yeah. So,
Very good.
yeah. So what have you been up to?
Good. Oh, well, day job has been kicking my butt a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm getting ready to next week, this time next week, it won't be next Friday. Calgary Stampede starts, and so I'll be walking the Midway doing that. That's my annual project of street portraits on the Midway. So I'm looking forward to that.
Remind me, is that something that you go to close by? Like you're able to go home, or do you stay someplace? Or
Well, we have this dog now we're looking after, so I go home. I go home from work, walk the dog, which takes about half an hour, three-quarters of an hour, and then I just go down to the train station. The train station's about 4 blocks away, and then that takes me directly to the Stampede grounds, and then I get off there, and then midnight or so, when the park is closing, then I'll get back on the train, come home.
oh,
It
the
takes
trains.
about yeah.
Sorry, the trains stay open that late?
They will be during Stampede. They're sometimes every 15 minutes overnight. I think they are
Oh,
24.
I guess it makes sense, right? Because there's probably so many people.
Yeah, it'll be interesting with the landscape of travel with fewer Canadians going to the U.S. this year. We'll be probably getting more Canadians coming to Canadian destinations, including Calgary. So I expect it to be really, really busy this year.
Oh, well, that will be good for
So
you,
that'll
right?
be good for
Yeah.
me. And I'm there for the crowds, right? A lot of people like to leave town. I mean, I know, whenever there's a big state fair or
Mhm.
something, if you grew up with it, you get tired of it and you just want to be out of town when it's happening. So there's some of that going on for sure. But I like the big crowds. So yeah,
I like seeing your
I'm
work.
looking
I
forward
like
to it.
seeing your work from that because I often use the work that, or not all your pictures, but I'll pull a couple of your shots on my in my when I do my street photography class, and as part of the example of like it doesn't need to be on the street, because people who come to my street photography class think, whoa, street photography, it's got to be in the street. I'm like, well, no, you can walk in the middle of a stampede and do the same kind of work. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what you're going to get this year.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to you going to a state fair, actually, too, because that's a whole vibe. That's a thing, as the kids say. It's a vibe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I'll probably have to study some of your pictures and see
Nah,
how you
you'll
go after
find your.
things.
I think you'll find your own way. It's
You
just
think?
it's. Oh yeah, I don't think he'll have. I don't think he'll have any
Alright.
problem. You've already got that. You know what you're doing on the street. It's just the same thing, and there's so many people. Like it's like Coney Island, right? They're just coming. In
Yeah.
season, they just people are coming. You just try and catch them. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing something like that here, with you know, I don't know what my style will be, my street if I do my street photography style here, how it's gonna translate.
yeah, there'll be a
So
Nebraska twang to it. I'm sure it'll be great.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. So
No,
go
no,
on.
that's fine. No, that's
Oh,
fine. It's just that's all I've got on the docket. I haven't done anything photographically speaking since then.
yeah.
Since
Well,
well, since this wedding thing that I did a couple weeks ago.
the wedding thing, yeah. I mean, I haven't either. I mean, since we last connected, I actually think after we did our recording, I shut my computer down because I think you were the last
Mm,
thing I needed to do on my desktop computers. I mean, I could always do on my laptop, but I literally just shut everything down. I've been using my phone for a lot of things, even photography. I mean, I when we were driving, I had kept my Polaroid camera out or I should say accessible. And it was just a whirlwind. It did not have any time. I did do a few shots when we pulled over to some rest areas to check on the cats and let them have a moment of rest and use the litter box and stuff like that. And so while I was standing around, I pulled out the Polaroid and just took some snaps of the rest area, and I actually kind of liked how they turned out. Because using the Polaroid and knowing what it's gonna look like I know how the texture of the picture is gonna be, and so with that in mind, I was looking for very simple things like a lamppost or a sign or something like that, and I did a few shots in the car, but, like, the cats they were in I couldn't really photograph them because they were sleeping, and if Angie was driving, I might have taken a couple of shots of her, but it didn't end up being a road trip like I think we were,
yeah, well,
talking
and
about
I had
prior to
said
that.
that's a concern. And I say when I'm driving, I'm not a very good photographer because I have this knee, and you can feel it, right? You want to put the miles on where to
Right.
drive, and so
Yeah.
you're not really thinking about photography. And
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
been a couple of trips that I've made where I drove up through Idaho and Montana, and where I did have extra time. I could have taken another day if I wanted. And so I took pictures of the, curves in the road with the cliffs and stuff and river
Yeah.
valleys. And I had
Yeah.
time, but that's really few and far between.
Yeah. We were under a deadline. We left last Thursday, early morning, and we needed to get to here in Lincoln by Friday night because the movers were coming Saturday morning. So there wasn't a lot of, and we literally like it took that much time, right, with all the stops and like if we decided not to go to the hotel, maybe we could have done it, but we really needed to stop. Again, it was a cat thing, and plus
Hmm.
I can't see myself for the first time like driving,
Yeah.
straight, in one session. So, but the few times, like it just gave me some ideas. Like I'm starting to like, I don't, I have the concepts of a plan.
Yeah.
Sorry, of what I might want to do. It's certainly doing more with the Polaroid camera in an area like this would be really interesting. I walked around a couple days ago with the half frame and I got some really interesting pictures. It's the again, like a camera like this or even the Polaroid, you're like working with the limitations.
Hmm.
And when I have those limitations, there's something that's fun about that. Like it's just not thinking about the technique or the technical parts too much. I'm just seeing things and seeing what what comes to my mind, and understanding like, I know how the Fuji X half is going to look. Like, I have an idea about it. I know what a Polaroid is going to look like. So those are kind of fun to walk around with. But I have to think about what, I'm going to have some time too. I can't do this right away. I mean, it's summer though. Summer seems like a nice time to go around, but it's really freaking hot.
Mhm.
Like, it's just, I don't know if that would just drain my energy to go around, but I think I want to scope out some places, and I have yet to really just take the car and drive anywhere. Still sort of, I've been rooted in the house for a little while just to get stuff together, because I don't want to live out of boxes. When you move, sometimes you get the boxes sitting around, but I've got so much gear and stuff tucked away in these things. Like, I just want to get them out and like have a nice desk and have a nice, like,
Yeah.
I can start working in Lightroom again and
Yeah.
doing all this other kind of stuff. So, but I do want to start scoping out. I don't know. And again, maybe you can help me here, and maybe if anybody's listening can help me with some ideas, because I don't want to do the things that everybody else does. And so I'm not sure how to approach this. Like, I mean, I feel like, like when you go to a new city, right? Like, you've said this before, like, you get the touristy crap out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, well, you get
You,
get it out of the way. That's exactly what
yeah,
I
you
was gonna
get it out of
say.
the way, right? And maybe this is not touristy stuff, but like, yeah. So if I go find an abandoned structure that's falling apart, sure, I'll take some shots of it, right? I feel like that's getting it out of the way, but I'm not sure how to approach like a new. I've got a photograph, right? But I don't want to. I mean, I probably will end up doing subjects that people have done before. But yeah, anyway, I don't know if I'm being clear here, because I'm actually asking you this right off the spot. But
Yeah, no, that's
I don't.
fine. No, new city, you're close to the Capitol building, you go shoot details of it, put the long lens on and, shoot fragments of the dome and whatever, like, just like root yourself in the city, even if it is touristy, like where are the interesting places to go? Are there, is there like a waterfront or a lake, a riverfront area at night where the kids go and there's restaurants and things and neon and that sort of thing. Just, get started that way.
Mhm.
I always think of Ralph Gibson's point of departure, go out with an intent, even, and it will change, what you'll be interested in will change. Yeah, that'd be,
But are you saying just to get that out of my system, or just to get fired up? I mean, I'm not sure quite.
no, to start doing something. If you don't know what it is you need to do, just
Oh, I see.
pick something and then you go, oh, I get this. Okay, this is like what everybody else is doing. And then you see something when you're out in your walks, right? And it's not the walk to the diner anymore, right? To the coffee shop. It's completely different thing. And so find out as your new routines get developed, and
Mhm.
there'll be different things to see.
Okay, because I've never had to do this before. Everything's been in a sort of a slow evolution,
Yeah. Yeah.
because, having lived in New York all my life, and, if I've moved less than a mile, certainly much less than a mile from one place to another. So there's been very little change in my environments, and this is really like being parachuted down in the middle of nowhere. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's
No,
just like,
just so
I mean,
different.
there's a
Yeah.
metaphor, but like, okay, so yeah, I can take pictures of things that I see that I've known, like, translate what I've done in New York here a little bit. And some of that works, some of it doesn't. And I think it's just because it's a different kind of environment. But like, I don't want to say, I hate saying this word. I really hate saying, like, this reinvention. Like, that doesn't quite, that's it's not what I wanna do. Like, I don't wanna reinvent myself as a photographer. I do have a new opportunity. It's just, I'm not sure if it's like a blank canvas that I have to stare at for a while and figure out what to put on it, or do I just slap paint on it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, that's
I mean, yeah, that's what I would do.
or just
Um,
slap the paint on. Yeah.
well, just go out and if you're living in suburbia, wide angle shots of the homes, or just do the Robert Adams thing, or cornfields. Just go, go exploring. And I think as you're looking at your Lightroom library, as you're doing the shooting, and some things will interest you more than others, and then you'll start to see things and start pulling on threads, and you'll find something.
Hmm.
And I mean, the whole Walker Evans aesthetic that you've been working on too. I mean, you're going to find much more of that now,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
these smaller towns, it'd be like, derelict, dilapidated buildings and abandoned farms. If you only go if you have permission.
Okay, I know. I gotta learn.
Um,
I have to learn all
there's a
the.
whole,
Uh,
because, that's when there's a no trespassing sign, there could be a shotgun on the other side of it. We don't know. So,
yeah.
but
No.
yeah,
I.
there's
Yeah. I'm
all of
not that.
these. I mean, there's lots of different things, and I'm excited for you because y- this existence that you're getting to now is closer to mine and how I grew up and living in
Hmm.
smaller communities, and they're now for. I think I might be of some utility. I'm hoping, and I'm curious. Well, no, for stuff like this, but I'm curious about your point of view and how you will visually create in this different environment, which is closer to what my background is. So I'm excited. I just want to
Hmm.
see where you go with it.
I am too. I am too. I don't know what to expect from myself, I, and maybe even just I'm overthinking about it. Like, well, of course, everybody's done everything before. So if I was trying to think about doing something completely different, that's kind of, well, not really possible because
But
so many things
nobody's
have been
done
done.
Antonio's Lincoln.
Right. I haven't done, yeah, I haven't done this yet. Maybe it's time to sort of prop open my books. Like one of the things I'm doing here is I'm setting up the basement here, just like you are. Like you have all your photo books in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reality to the amount of space that I have up here, and I can't really set up bookshelves in this room.
Mm-hmm.
Also because of the weight restrictions on the room. So all my photo books are going downstairs in the basement. I'm creating right now. I'm trying to create a sort of almost like a library kind of thing with two aisles.
Okay. Okay.
It depends on how many books I can. Like, I've got a lot of photo books, and that's your fault, by the way. No,
But I've just got two kind of like 4.5 foot bookshelves that are 3 feet wide, and now I'm stacking books on top of them, so the whole thing is 5 feet tall and about
yeah.
six feet wide, and it's like 300 books, you know. So
I don't know how many
and
I have.
magazines.
I've got multiple boxes, and they're so heavy that the boxes are falling apart now.
Yeah.
And I think what I'll do is, maybe bring a few up at a time rather
Hmm.
than have the whole thing in front of me, just in terms of practical things. But maybe it's also time for me to just sort of scope out some books and get some, like, it might be a good time now, even though it's summer and it's a great time to go out and shoot. It might be a good time now to also just like dive into some of the stuff and just see what else other people have been doing
Hmm.
in similar situations or areas or like this. And but yeah, I want to do myself. I want to do me here. And I don't know what that's like yet. So it's going to be one of the first times I get to just sort of discover something like this
Hmm.
uh, for myself, which is, I don't know, that's really interesting. I mean, I don't want to, well, I don't want to say what I don't want to do. I want to experience. I want to have a full experience of this, especially photographically. I want to, like, oh, like when I took these Polaroids, I was thinking, okay, well, what am I going to do with them, right? Of the rest stops, it was just like, and I thought maybe I would mark down the. I took I took shots with my phone at the same time so that it would have the latitude and longitude. So I might just
Okay.
scratch those onto the Polaroids, and maybe I'll walk around with the Polaroid camera or just, that will sort of force me to be very, I don't know, what's the word? It's not stingy. Oh, I can't frugal, right? Because each
Frugal.
shot is $2,
Right.
So maybe I'll try that for a little while and see maybe I'll go to the Capitol or other places. And you know what? Sorry to mention this. I'm about a mile from the Nebraska State Penitentiary.
Oh, cool.
I mean, yeah,
Well,
I know.
we've got a provincial jail that's about,
Yeah.
it's about a mile away too.
It's really interesting driving by that because it's so first of all, it's very graphic, the guard towers and the way the building is designed. I'm sure it's probably not a good idea to go next to it with a camera and start taking pictures of the wall there.
Yeah.
I might have to do it through the car or something like that. But it was what it was very intriguing when I saw it. And of course, I'm going to think about something that's really intriguing that I'm not allowed to photograph, right? So great, wonderful, you know.
Maybe you'll run to somebody who works there and then Bob's your uncle.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know, but it brings up a lot of stuff when I see that.
Yeah.
But the other thing I want to do here too is it's not right now good, but I definitely want to check out some places where I could set up the camera at night and point it at the sky
Mm.
and see what happens. And I don't know if that would lead to anything. I mean, astrophotography is something I've always wanted to do, and yeah, pointing up Fuji to the sky is not quite astrophotography, but it's also something that I
Well,
like doing.
I
But
had good luck on the summer solstice shooting the Milky Way when it happened to be a new moon a few years ago. I went
oh,
on
really?
a little workshop, if you want to call it that. It was just a group of photographers, and I got some pretty spectacular pictures of the Milky Way.
You'll
Yeah,
have
that
to
was
share your
a lot of fun.
technique with me because I know it's not just pointing up at the sky, right? I mean, there's a
Well,
few
you got
other
to.
steps
Well, the
to it.
problem with there's depending on which part of the sky. If you're pointing closer south, then you need a shorter exposure because the stars are moving faster and stuff like that you got to worry about. But
Yeah.
you know, there's things that I'm a big proponent of. If you have a digital camera of experimenting, the exposures are 15, 20 seconds max for me.
Yeah.
And that's enough time for you to chimp, you know, and then, take another one. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm a little more intrigued by doing stuff at night in general. So I don't know where that might go. And I'm also thinking, I don't know what we're doing on July 4th, but I think it's going to have to be, I think we're going someplace where there'll be fireworks at very close range.
Mm.
And that might be very interesting to experiment with. Not the fireworks themselves, but like how they light up the ground. So there might be some interesting
Or light up the
opportunities.
crowd if
Right,
there's a
right,
crowd.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, so we'll see. We'll see a few things. Also, I did bring I think I mentioned this before, but I have my 4 by 5 Toyo camera,
Yeah.
which which I bought an lomography instant back for the camera, so that's also another opportunity. It'd be really kind of funny to walk around with this giant Bogan tripod that I've got. And, I mean, I've got this giant studio tripod, which as a quick little story, I had this it's massive. It's built
Was this
for,
what was living in your hallway or somewhere? Where was it?
uh,
I think,
when you were here. No,
yeah. Okay.
no, I had it tucked away in a closet.
Okay.
So for those of you when you're using a 4 by 5 or an 8 by 10 camera, you have to have this, you have to have a massive tripod, none of these little dinky things. And the one I've got is, I think it's a Bogan tripod, and it's got a crank on it so that you can crank the center. Like you don't just lift up the center post. It's got a gear in it that you have to crank it up. And this thing is so flippin' heavy. And I brought this thing with me. Me and my friend Tony, we went to Seattle, went to the Pacific Northwest, and we went to the Cascade Mountains. And I had my Mamiya RB67. If anybody knows what a Mamiya RB67, if you think of like Frankenstein's shoe, it's this massive medium format camera. It was a 6 by 7 camera, 6 centimeters by 7 centimeter medium format film camera. And it was giant. It's heavy. And I took this tripod with me, and I'm carrying it up the trail up in, I don't know, what was it? Point Paradise or something like that in Mount Shuksan. I can't remember what it was. And I can't breathe
Oh, yeah.
because it's like
Altitude.
8,000 feet.
Yeah.
And I'm carrying this massive tripod with me, and I'll never do that again. And I still have this damn tripod, which, and I would never get rid of it because it's perfect for large format cameras. But yeah, just don't go up, if you're used to ground level, sea level, and suddenly getting to, 8,000 feet, 9,000 feet and trying to carry a 40-pound tripod with everything else. Uh, Not recommended, 1 star, not recommended. But I did bring that with me. I have it here. It's one of these kind of tripods that, I could drop kick and, throw off the roof and it would still work. It's never gonna go anywhere. But it would be kinda really cool to be able to bring out either my like I said, my speed graphic, my crown graphic camera,
Mhm.
4 by 5, set up a tripod like that and do, like, very old school kind of photography, And people would be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I was like, "Ah, yeah, I'm a photographer." So, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the world's my oyster now with photography, and it's just what do I wanna do with it? And speaking of that as well, I think I might join some artist collective here or something like that, and they have art festivals here. So, I might decide that I want to, like, start selling my prints. When I was packing up all my stuff a bunch of years ago, I had a, booth at an art fair someplace in New Jersey. I think it was in Newark or something like that. And I didn't do so well there. I didn't, I think I was sort of overambitious, but I printed a ton of stuff and matted them. And I've got all that stuff here. And I was like, oh, I wonder if images of New York or like with the kind of images I have would go over well here. So I might start approaching things that way as well. It'd be really kind of cool to sell my photography as artwork as well. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And then the other opportunities are teaching. If we're going to try to find some teaching gigs or even create some and see how that works. So there's a lot in the soup here. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. But yeah, it, not much in the updates department. So, but I wanted to make sure we got the show. I'm right on my laptop. I'm in an unfinished office, but I figured, okay, might as well. Wasn't impossible to talk to you tonight. And
No, we didn't have to put up a repeat. It's all
didn't
good.
have to put up a repeat. I'd rather not. Yeah. So, but I guess we'll cut it short today because it's time for you to get to work, and I've got a whole bunch of stuff to unpack as well.
Okay, exactly.
Yeah. And if we check it in a couple of weeks, you'll have gone to the
Yeah,
to
I
the
will have posted.
Stampede?
Yeah, I will have posted some pictures already, and
Yeah.
we'll probably, yeah, we'll have to work on timing for when we're going to record the show because
I
I'm
see.
usually out in the evening, so we'll figure something
All
out.
right, we'll figure something out. Oh, I mean, before we go, and this is a gear thing, have you considered the new Fuji that's coming out, the
I need to hold it in my hand. I understand that.
XM
Yeah, the
XM
XE3,
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 XE5,
XE5. Yeah, sorry, I have
XE5.
XE3s.
Right. I know.
I since just got the XS20, I think I'm good for now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might use the XS20 a little bit more at the midway this year.
Really?
We'll see.
Really?
We'll see
Yeah.
because the autofocus is better at night, and it's a darker camera. I mean, between that and then I'll have the 16 millimeter prime on one of the other cameras. So I'm going to cart around 2 cameras this year because
And you're not just doing street stuff. Are you going to be doing some of the activities and rodeo things, or is
maybe
it really
no,
is it
not I
just
no the
people?
rodeo
No?
stuff you pay and it's a giant concrete
Oh, I
grandstand. And
see.
you're a
Yeah.
quarter of a mile away from the action when I can be in danger of actually being kicked at
Yeah.
Handhills
Okay.
Lake. So it's a little bit
Oh.
different vibe there. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
happy to, if I get a ticket, to go and enjoy it and see a lot of the same athletes and animals. But no, I've no desire to go to the actual rodeo.
I see.
Or
right.
not much of a desire. I mean, you can drag me along if you want.
Yeah.
All I'll do
Well-
is tell you what's going on. I'm obnoxious.
But anyway, you need to hold the XT5 in your hands
Yes.
before you can decide. But it's got all these nice little features on it now.
Yeah. Well, the GFX 100 RF, I mean, I got the feels from that. So if this is anything like that, and if it's got kind of the same presence as the X100, who knows, maybe in my future. I think I would sell some gear to buy that if I'm going to go that direction. Because I don't need 4 bodies. I don't need, I love them, but I don't need I went to Japan with 3 bodies, and of course I learned that was probably too many.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well,
it's just how I roll, I guess.
all right. Well, I just wanted to check in with that since we definitely talk about Fujis here. So, not quite.
My understanding,
Fuji
actually, the XC5's coming out the end of August. When they'll be available in the stores in Canada, anyway, that I know of. So we'll see.
Yeah, we probably won't see them in the States for a little bit longer. So, or at least not in volume. Yeah. So, all right. Well, okay. I just wanted to be curious because I know that's your, the XE is your camera. I always imagine you with, picturing you with that camera. So, all right. Okay, buddy. So we'll wrap. Yeah. And we'll see everybody in a couple of weeks. And try to stay cool if you can, because it's flipping hot out there. And you know it already, but it's just try to hydrate yourself.
Hydrate, that's right. Hydrate and wear sunscreen.
Sunscreen. Yeah, that's what I got to do. I'm already getting like the back of my neck is turning
the farmer tan.
Yes. Farmer tans. Yeah, and where my watch is too. So they've only been here a few days. All right. So we'll see you in a couple weeks. Thanks for joining me tonight. Or I know you're busy, but thanks.
Yeah, and should we tell the people where they can find me? And,
sorry, we forget.
And then where
are you? Yeah.
On Vero, Twitter, and Blue Sky, you can find me at W Rosin Photo. Instagram, I'm Ward Rosin Fine Art, which is where I put most of my work. On Facebook, I'm Ward Rosin Photo, and my sad little website is rosin.ca. That's me. I got all these pictures. I got a mini wedding portfolio now that I never would have had, but I'm not advertising myself as a wedding photographer.
Okay.
Anyway,
all right.
So that's me. So, Mr. Antonio, where can we find you?
Yeah. So Blue Sky, AM Rosario, and Instagram. I think I'm going to start using Instagram while I'm here now. I think it might be a good opportunity to start a new direction. So that's AM Rosario Photo. My website is amrosario.com. That I'm going to redo as well, but I keep saying that. And yeah, you know what? I know you're busy, but we got a Substack newsletter to put out. So please subscribe to it. If anybody's out there and you like our stuff, just subscribe and join us there. streetshots.substack.com. And if you want to support the show and help me buy some Huskers tickets, then you can you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Antonio Rosario. So yes, now I can say thanks for joining me tonight. Or it was great. Yeah, and
I'd like to, from remotely, I would like to welcome you to your new home. I hope you enjoy. I hope you have a lovely time there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I think I will. It's already started off really well. And everybody here is really just, it's really nice. It's nice to be with people who are nice. I'm not saying New Yorkers are not nice, but everybody in New York is under some tension already. And it's a little less here. At least it's spread out a little bit more, So I really appreciate that. So anyway, thank you. And everybody else, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Hopefully I'll have my act together a little bit more, but I'm going to be able to have my regular computer and my regular mic and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see. All right. See everybody in a couple of weeks.